From Sneako getting roasted to Charlie humiliating Jack Doherty, here are 42 times evil streamers got destroyed by Penguinz0. First up, we have a familiar name, Sneako. Sneako's feud with Charlie started over a typical roast, targeting Sneako's friend. But things escalated when Sneako took it personally and fired back, making Charles one of his top targets.
I'm not gonna say names. Someone texted me. He's in a monogamous relationship.
And of course, Charles had to respond in classic fashion, calm, sarcastic, and devastating.
Like, it's so weird, and he's been mad ever since, as I understand it. I, of course, don't really watch him, but I keep getting updates on Sneako not being happy, wiggling his finger saying, I don't really like this Charlie guy anymore for this.
As Charles explained, the whole drama dated way back to when Netflix's Cuties got released, and Sneako made a clip saying it wasn't as bad as it was shown to be. However, Charles disagreed with what Sneako was saying, and that somehow made him mad.
That not only does it exist, but Netflix has promoted it and it's on their service. Regardless of what the intention was or what the message aimed to deliver from the director, it completely missed the mark. By using real child actors and doing the things that they did in the film, it became a movie that...
But, of course, Sneako didn't like Charles criticizing the movie back then.
I saw this commentator, Penguinz0, who I actually like. There's not a lot of good commentators, but he's like, this movie is deplorable. There's nothing good about it. There's nothing. And it's like he didn't even watch the movie. It's just like he only saw the clips.
So, Charles has since dismissed whatever Sneako has to say about him.
Also the reason I don't care what his opinion is of me, because it's coming from a man who likes cuties.
And if that wasn't enough, Charles made sure to completely expose Sneako by bringing up the time he was on a podcast, telling everyone he liked it when his girlfriend was being intimate with someone else in front of him. Charles saw what maybe others didn't.
Man, she was f***ing in front of you? Like, you're not really okay with it, it sounds like. So stop trying to pretend to be, and stop trying to make it seem like this is a good, healthy thing for everyone that everyone needs to try. It's just pretty sad.
What Charles might not have realized, or perhaps he did, was that the video would seriously offend Sneako, causing him to react to Charles everywhere he went and whenever he could. So Charles thought, well, why not?
I bet just seeing me in this attire again has just sent you on a full-blown Winter Soldier episode with your eyes rolling into the back of your skull as you're experiencing post-traumatic stress disorder. But unfortunately, I failed to calculate just how much of a sensitive f***ing loser you are. Because this hurt your feelings to such a high degree, it's become like an Armageddon in your brain.
Because Sneako was just going way too far with all this.
Waving his gun around and dancing.
You wanna watch my clips? Watch my clips. Watch my clips. You want me to watch your clips? Watch my clips.
But what he didn't know is that Charles was 2 steps ahead.
They're mags, not clips, you absolute f***ing dummy. The same way that this is also a mag. You have no ability to banter, you can't insult anyone. Anytime you're pushed, all you fall back on is one of 3 things: soy boy, bot, or NPC, and that's it. You never deviate from this path.
And of course, this went on for days straight, with Sneako getting owned just as he deserved, and Charles doing what he does best. This was considered one of the biggest beef Charles has ever had with anyone.
Convinced that you're only 2 or 3 messages away from asking your community to source antidepressants for you under the table to help with all this mental anguish you're going through.
He even pointed out the wall of shame Sneako had created.
For 3 months now, Sneako's had this adorable little collage that he made that looks like it's straight out of a 16-year-old girl's diary with pictures of boys from her class that she doesn't like. All about people that have hurt his feelings.
But then there was also this point.
Even sadder about it is he purposely leaves out people that he's afraid of. So Turkey Tom, for example, made a whole video talking about Sneako and how pathetic he is. And Sneako tried to talk a big game to him, even challenged him to a debate, which Turkey Tom accepted with jubilation. He was ecstatic.
But of course, Sneako avoided Turkey Tom because he was scared of him, and Charles made sure to highlight this cowardice just like he did in Jack Doherty's case, though Jack was more of a fool than a coward.
I just had a couple of friends send me a clip where Jack Doherty just crashed his McLaren on stream while reading chat or maybe texting on his phone.
The infamous incident where Jack crashed his car while live streaming made it seem like a genuine accident. However, Charles was quick to debunk it all.
On Jack Doherty. The most punchable face on the planet here belongs to our protagonist, Jack. He is right now driving his McLaren, and his cameraman is doing a great job for the insurance company here, showcasing that he is not doing his due diligence of being a safe driver.
So, of course, Jack wasn't going to get any insurance money, but the online sympathy he was getting, Charles was going to make sure he didn't get that either. After the crash, all Jack did was tell his friend who was bleeding badly to keep filming. That was all he cared about.
And instead of doing the sensible thing of stopping the stream and getting medical care to your friend who clearly needs it, he instead doubles down and wants even more footage of it, even though he looks like the biggest f***ing idiot on the planet for this.
It seemed almost like he did it on purpose or something.
I don't even think he cares. I think this guy is so far gone. He's such a sociopath disconnected from reality. I actually think he's viewing this in his head as a positive thing, like, oh, this is gonna be a lot of views. This is actually gonna be like really good for the brand. Like, it honestly seems like he's putting on a CW level acting performance. Oh bro, this is cooked.
But Charles wasn't gonna stop there. He had to call out Jack's totaled car for the paint job he had on it.
And also, I would argue that this McLaren was totaled even before this accident because that paint job is a crime. That looks atrocious. It's like your grandma's polka dot wallpaper from the 70s.
While Jack's actions might have been accidental, his reaction and insensitivity toward his friend made him seem truly evil. But Charlie's takedown of Johnny Somali was on a whole different level. But then Somali's actions were on another level too.
I want to give you something that can make you smile. One of those public nuisance streamers whose whole existence revolves around making everyone's lives around them worse as their content has just been arrested.
Johnny Somali became notorious for being one of the worst streamers, teasing people to the point of bullying, and then playing the victim card and the racism card all around the world. The guy even got banned from Japan, and like the rest of the world, Charles had a problem with him. So he decided to call him out once and for all.
Spitballs at him. He is probably the biggest loser and like the biggest communal urinal that people take turns peeing on. He's a nuisance streamer who travels around the world just getting his ass beat because he's a racist asshole who does his best to disrupt society and make everyone's lives around him miserable.
And well, Charles wasn't wrong because Johnny seemed quite proud of his actions, showing no shame at all on numerous occasions.
Not like niggas gonna come up to me, bro. Why you being racist to other people in other countries? For money, for clout. I've said it many times. I don't give a fuck. I have no morals. I'm a fucking sociopath.
While he was on his spree in South Korea, Johnny got arrested and jailed there. Not thrown out, but jailed, just like he deserved, and Charles, of course, loved it.
They are throwing hands, and it has been just such a joy to watch him just get fucking clocked every time he fires up a stream. He's like a Wobbuffet from Pokemon. He just keeps getting like slapped around but keeps coming back. But each time, unlike a Wobbuffet, he's taking more and more damage.
Johnny often found himself running away since he couldn't handle a fight, and nobody explained it better than Charles himself.
Johnny Somali is not a fighter, so anytime something happens, he runs away like it's, you know, Tom and Jerry, and usually he doesn't get very far because he's also not athletic, so he still gets an ass beating, just more like across like a block as opposed to in one location.
The entire video was an epic roasting of Johnny, and to be honest, he deserved every bit of hate he got, including the 10-year sentence, much like it's Slicker's situation. Slicker was a streamer with a significant following. He had streamer friends and a lot of fans, and he thought, why not get some money out of them? Not by asking for donations, but through deception.
Years, he asked many of his viewers, his mods, and his friends for loans, promising to pay them back within a few months, but never did. And in total, it looks like he may have scammed around $300,000 from viewers.
So Charles went full Sherlock mode, investigating everything. He watched the videos Slicker sent to his viewers, read the chats, and went through it all.
Kind of common. At 16, bro. Never mind, I need a fave, but I feel you're young to ask. Oh. God, what a creepy vibe. Jesus. My bank got temp locked and I need to buy my mother a plane ticket to Iraq since my GMA got corona.
Slicker was even asking minors for loans. Some viewers ended up giving him $700, while other streamers handed him $2,700.
I don't understand. As a streamer, how can you be so low IQ? Everything gets leaked. Literally everything gets leaked. So if you're scamming viewers and streamers alike, how can you possibly think for 1 second that's never gonna come up?
Nothing was confirmed, but Charles knew it had to be gambling since Slicker was a gambling addict. Where else would all that money go?
It has to be gambling. It has to be gambling. I can't imagine what else he's spending this money on.
After all the investigation and seeing how much Slicker had scammed people, Charles could only say this.
Yes, it is a legitimate illness. But I mean, it's not like that's an excuse to scam this many people for this long.
Then came the time Charles set his sights on Zillian Op, the infamous streamer who would play League of Legends in a wheelchair, discussing his disability with his viewers. But one day, during a stream, he simply got up and went to the bathroom. Viewers were shocked and Zillian knew he messed up.
It was one of the most miraculous moments ever captured on film. That guy must have bought Peter Popoff's holy water or something, because in that moment he could walk yet again and everything was fine.
Zillian's response was to shut everything down and leave the platform for a long time. When he returned, he made an apology, saying he never explicitly stated he was permanently disabled, but by then his career was long gone.
Reputation up until he stood up like the Undertaker getting up from a bad fall. Just raising from the wheelchair and going to get a snack or whatever.
As for Zillian's later confession about how he was getting better and simply didn't tell his viewers, Charles had the perfect response.
So it's not like it was just, it was an accident. I didn't want people to, it wasn't like I was trying to hide this. I guess I just was a victim of my own hubris for trying to battle these things in private, and I should have shared more. Well, no, he blatantly lied.
Zillian got completely destroyed by Charlie, much like how he was roasted by the entire internet. However, what really got on Charlie's nerves was Ice Poseidon more than anyone.
He's honestly, I swear to God, like that stupid cartoon character that you'd think could never really exist in the real world, but somehow he does.
After being banned from almost everywhere, Ice Poseidon moved to YouTube, where he continued causing trouble. Eventually, he got into crypto, and it wasn't for good, not for others at least.
I just don't get it. For some reason, anytime cryptocurrency is mentioned, people just turn their brain off, hop on MetaMask, and dump their entire life savings into poop-ass dog coin.
In an interview, Ice was told he had taken money from people who were less fortunate, and he genuinely didn't care.
And I really feel like he has some kind of main character syndrome or hero complex, because at the end of CoffeeZilla's video, spoiler alert, he does mention that he'll give back 155 grand. And then, expects us to pat him on the ass for it because he's giving back a fraction of the total amount that he stole? This goofy goober already stated in the interview he could give the full amount back if he wanted to.
Ice claimed he would return a bit of the money, but somehow it ended up way less than he had claimed.
And then it turns out he didn't even give 155 grand back, he gave 40 grand back, so he couldn't even be bothered to do, the full amount of his apology return. It's fucking shocking.
According to Ice, the money was either going to zero or he could take it all out, so that's what he did. He wasn't even willing to properly face what he had done.
It's like, I was faced with two choices, the ultimatum, the red or the blue pill. Do I let the money sit there and hit zero in this fucking poop project that I've started, or do I take the investors' money, 300 grand for myself, and then at least it never hits zero? I'm sure the investors wanted you to have that money, Paul. I'm sure they were really, breathing a sigh of relief, what a hero.
Ice was notorious for scamming people, and although he never fully admitted to it, Charles and others exposed him for what he was. Then there was VP, who Charles described as a trashy YouTuber, streamer willing to do anything for views with zero remorse. In one particular clip, she hit someone.
Her entire streams revolve around how degenerate she is. She's usually very fucking high. According to the community that watches her, she does meth pretty often before driving. She's always on her phone while driving. It's where all of her content takes place, so she's always looking at chat, getting donations, very distracted driving.
She straight up hit them, and this was her reaction.
Well, he does hear those voices. They're not fake, but I wonder sometimes.
Everything from her face to the audio in the car made it clear that something had happened. In the end, all she said was, "I don't know what just happened." Like, what?
What do you mean you don't know what just happened? Are your eyes lagging? Is this a latency problem, like the ping's too bad so your eyes haven't caught up with what's going on here? Is your brain stuck in Narnia? You just hit a human being because you're too f***ing busy talking to your stream. You're not paying attention to the road.
Even after she continued streaming as if it was no big deal, as if the other person was overreacting or something.
Top shelf shit. Thanks for delivering that. She's a menace. She is a danger to everyone around her. She should not be allowed to drive.
And this wasn't the first time she did something questionable. In another incident, she gave groceries to those in need, and then her dog did this. She gave the groceries away like she couldn't even smell the mess her dog had just made.
The worm that came out of the dog's ass has nothing on the worms that infest this lady's brain. A normal person would have seen what happened here and It's not like she didn't know it happened. She literally cleaned off a fucking worm from the groceries. And they would have canceled the order. Because there's a level of decency with people where they wouldn't want to just poison a stranger here, I don't think. At least, I'd like to believe that.
She just cleaned it up and continued as if it wouldn't affect anyone.
You can't really wipe piss away, unless you have sponge hands, which I don't think you do. And also, dog shit and worms on top of the grocery bags that the food is in. Like, there's no telling what made it through.
While VP may be the most careless streamer, the next one takes it to another level by embarrassing himself while pushing others to the limits.
But just like this guy's hairstyle, he's stuck in the past. This is a 40-year-old man who has a hairstyle of a 14-year-old emo boy.
Suspender, a kick streamer, has been reported multiple times for doing weird things live on stream, but most of the time he's like this.
You see this? This fucking what we do.
And Charlie's take? Classic as always.
Unironically blasting dubstep in a train right now. And then he says, he has the gall, the chutzpah, to say, this is what we do. Brother, you are stuck 15 years in the past. Holy shit. This is like a video I would have seen on MySpace from a pathetic guy back then.
We can't agree more with Charlie. It's not just about these things. Suspender often takes it a step further, arguing with people who try to confront him.
The way this goofball is behaving and the way he's speaking remind me of like an old 80s B-movie bad guy. Like really poorly acted, yet he's being real here, which is wild. Now he said if you wanted me to turn down the volume, all you had to do was ask, even though that was attempted and he just ignored him.
Throughout his streams, he blasts music and gets into fights with anyone who asks him to turn it down. A total nuisance.
A vermin like this who's just blasting music and refusing to turn it down when someone's trying to get their attention, and then has this huge blow up when you just take matters into your own hands and like turn it down for him. Like, I mean, f you, the whole point was the confrontation, right? So why are you gonna act all offended and upset, all because a guy actually, you know, played along with what you've started?
But where Suspenders might just be obnoxious, Don't Use Me Blade was on a whole different level. In Charlie's words, he described him like this.
He is easily the world's worst streamer. He is a raging alcoholic, serial groper, just groping complete strangers, and just, he's an animal abuser as well. All of these, all documented.
Blade rose to popularity when back then he was playing and streaming Call of Duty Modern Warfare, as he was only using a knife throughout the game. But then the game's popularity faded, and so did his, and that's when the downfall started.
And then started streaming. The only reason he maintained even a very small audience is because people were laughing at him. They liked to see him get drunk and fall asleep, well, pass out, hurt himself, stumble around. That was the only thing that people tuned in to see. He's a degenerate loser.
Now, some people do feel bad for him, but
it's hard to feel bad for a skid mark like this guy.
Whatever is considered unacceptable on streaming platforms, Blade was doing it all.
His name, Only Use Me Blade, is basically just synonymous with vomit and grope.
Blade's downfall was tragic, but with what he was up to, it was something bound to happen, I guess. Then came the streamer We Found the Body. In one of his streams, he noticed a regular viewer appearing after a long time, so he asked her where she had been.
In Spanish, and it's chef's kiss. All right. Curvy, where the f have you been? Oh my god. Well, tell you what, Miss Dirty Curvy, you know what we're not going to do? We're not going to talk about it in my chat.
The viewer explained that she'd been away because her mother had passed away.
And then for some reason, this must have input a cheat code into the streamer's brain that just sent him into like debate club. He, for some reason, then just goes into like this TED talk about how you shouldn't answer his question if your answer is something sad because it brings down the vibes of the stream.
His response was that it brought down the vibes of the stream, leaving everyone watching completely stunned.
Like, okay, give them a script. Make sure your community has the acceptable answer script to my stupid questions. I don't actually care where you've been. And like, just tell me one of these 2 canned responses. Like, this is so fucking dumb, man.
This was how he learned his lesson from Charles, though nothing compared to the way he roasted Bad Bunny, who can't help but demean her viewers for not giving her enough money. She literally just sits in her chair and shouts like crazy on the chat.
How did my whole speech about how I need subs and to get the stream going if you like the content, blah, 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 how that results in 0 subs? There are regulars here. $5 a month. How do you have hours of time to watch me and not $5?
Charles, of course, had something to say about this.
Well, this parasite's right about one thing: nobody respects her as a content creator.
He didn't even bother mentioning her name so as to not direct any more clout her way.
Pitiful sad shit on Twitch. I saw a man finger his butthole for a $20 donation on Twitch, and I still have more respect for that than I do her. At least him sticking his fingers in his asshole was more fun than all of her streams combined.
This was enough to show just how offended Charles was by whatever she was doing on Twitch, because all she seems to be on Twitch is like,
hello, you broke cheap ass viewers. I'm sitting here with my beautiful asshole goat seat into the camera, and nobody's giving me $20. My speech about giving me $20 and I'll finger my asshole didn't give me any money. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Bad Bunny might have done her part of being evil, but what Stephen McCulloch did was terrifying, as he allegedly harmed someone and then used his Twitch stream as an alibi. He thought that if the police came, he could say he had been streaming the whole time.
So what happened is, on the night of Natalie McNally's murder, Stephen McCulloch went live on his channel, and this live stream is still up right now. It's a 6-hour live stream, and this was crucial evidence to prove his innocence on this evening.
His logic was that since he was live at the time the crime happened, he couldn't have done anything.
Ever think the live stream was fake? Yes, the stream went live on his channel during this whole period of time, but it wasn't actually a live stream. It was a pre-recorded video that Stephen McCulloch had recorded days prior in order to look like a live stream, to mimic a live stream, so that way it could be used as an alibi for him.
So he told his viewers he wouldn't be checking the chat because it froze his computer or something.
And he just kept like explaining why he can't read chat, and then he started talking about like, well, I guess I could read it on my phone, but you know, I get addicted to TikTok when I'm on my phone, and that's a mess, so I've put my phone in timeout in another room, so I won't be reading chats there either, and that'd probably ruin my internet too anyway, so no chat tonight. You guys can talk amongst yourself. I don't even like live streamers who read chat, so no chat for me tonight.
As far as Charles knows, he hasn't been found guilty, but there is a ton of evidence against him, so it's unclear what will happen. Next is Sneako, a Polish streamer who found her way onto Charles's hit list when she did this.
Stukło przed chwilą. Nie wiesz jak wtedy... Jezus, ile tu psów! Pewnie jakaś macieczkę.
If it wasn't clear to anyone, she ran over someone's pet, and the calm on her face was exactly what Charles criticized.
So this f***ing clown here that's dressed like Curious George couldn't help but be reading her f***ing chat and then ran over a dog.
The woman was more focused on her chat than on driving.
Watch her clips. She is staring at that phone for like 5-10 seconds at a time. It's not even like she's just like doing one of these. Not that that's any better, but like she was like reading it as if she was like trying to get through a goddamn like Magic Treehouse book on her phone.
This got Charles heated, as it would any sane person, especially since multiple streamers have been caught focusing on chat while driving with disastrous consequences, and no one seems to be learning a lesson.
That's like actual baby brain shit. It makes me question if she ever developed object permanence. She took notice of dogs around the area, and then assumed they vanished when she looked at her phone or something, like, oh, I can't see them anymore, they must have just been phased out of existence, and then she hits one.
We're all familiar with the whole Dr. Disrespect situation, and yes, Charles did what he does best in this case too. However, just for a recap, Dr. Disrespect was banned from Twitch for allegedly sending inappropriate messages to a minor, and he never fully addressed the allegations until he did, saying it wasn't his intention.
Say? Like, if any of you have watched To Catch a Predator, you'll recognize that tactic, that little maneuver right there, because that's something that was pretty frequent on that show. When a predator went down and talked with Chris Hansen, a lot of them said that same thing pretty much.
There are still some who try to support him, but that's not how things appear to be.
Based on the amount of people jumping through hoops trying to find ways of justifying this and spinning it in ways where he doesn't look evil.
But of course, it is clear that he did actually do something evil, therefore seeing the consequences now. And then there was a streamer named Natalie Reynolds who, like many others, would do anything for views. One time, she took it a step too far when she did this.
My feet were getting
You should
hot.
just jump in right now.
I'm gonna jump in with my shoes on.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah, ready? Oh! Wait, what the fuck?
Charlie's commentary on the situation was spot on.
I love how she's somehow surprised that the lady jumped in after she spent the better part of 15 minutes trying to convince her to jump in, and even tried to bribe her with $20 to do so, and now all of a sudden she's fucking soy-facing, shocked that the lady actually did it.
Just for the context, the lady Natalie approached was homeless and initially refused what Natalie suggested because she couldn't swim and only float. But when offered $20, she agreed, clearly needing the money.
The Kick streamer is on a scavenger hunt trying to locate the final Dragon Ball so she can finally make a wish to be something other than the failure that she is, and she encounters this woman who's on the dock, and she tries to convince that woman to jump in the water to look for the tracker that she's trying to hunt.
If you think this was the only time Natalie did something questionable, you'd be mistaken. She had a track record of chasing clout by any means necessary.
Now, she's gone viral in the past for other degenerate activity, such as wearing painted-on pants at a gym, or doing a kidnapping children prank and faking a ton of shit around all of her other work to try and cause as much controversy as possible to farm clout off of it.
But this particular incident got her into a controversy, with nearly everyone criticizing her actions, much like what happened with Squeeze and Neon.
Another day, another Kick degenerate streaming themselves committing crimes.
Neon and Squeeze were driving and streaming when this happened.
Okay, alright, we're good. Calm.
Now, Squeeze is already infamous for being one of the most reckless drivers in New York, and having Neon with him was practically asking for chaos.
Inside and off the street, he starts treating it like he's trying to lose stars in Grand Theft Auto here. So he is clearly freaked out by all of this. He also just got out of jail and now he could be looking at some more problems. Now granted, he wasn't the one driving, so I don't think he'd face any serious repercussions, though.
But after the incident, Squeeze acted like it was nothing out of the ordinary, and Neon wandered in the streets out of breath and shocked as if he did not already see this coming.
Squeeze is addicted to attention, so he has done an interview before, and even in that interview, he does something similar to what he did with Neon here. Granted, to a lesser degree with the other interviewer, because obviously the other guy is taken more seriously than someone as pathetic as Neon, but still, there's no way Neon went into this not expecting to get into high-speed, illegal shenanigans.
Neon claims he had no idea this would happen, but many, including Charles, are doubtful.
Neon is the human nothing burger, so the only thing that he could have possibly concocted here for his stream is to excite them with Squeeze driving recklessly as Neon screams like a bitch in the passenger seat. That had to be the entire purpose behind it, not some kind of f***ing Q&A with Neon at the helm.
Charles was nearly certain it was Neon's idea, since he's known for pulling stunts like this for views.
So he would have absolutely said to Squeeze, let's just go on one of your stupid joyrides for the stream. That's what I think, and this is Neon trying to cover his own ass since he was literally involved in a hit and run. So he was probably afraid of some repercussions from this, especially since it was streamed on his channel, and it seems like he organized this whole event here.
Charles wrapped up his video a few minutes later, but not before thoroughly condemning Neon and Squeeze for their reckless stunt.
I would rather listen to a 2-hour audiobook lecture on the Krebs cycle than ever listen to Neon interview someone. And I did do a bit of a deep dive on Squeeze in particular though. He does seem to be a pretty talented driver, especially when it comes to drifting. But all he uses it for is this, illegal criminal shit. Anyway, just wanted to talk about this a little bit. Another classic Kick crime. That's it.
Neon, however, might be reckless, and so is Squeeze, but there are people who are just not careless, but worse, like the streamer Killa MF Cam. He seems to be one of the angriest individuals and, unfortunately, not the best role model for a father, let alone a streamer in the streaming community.
And this pathetic urinal cake just exists to get pissed on. He fucking sucks at the games he plays, and he has some of the worst anger I've seen on Twitch. I went through a couple of his old shit, and it's nothing but him raging half the fucking streams.
Raging on stream is no big deal, right? Many streamers do that. But Killa MF Cam took it further when his daughter and his dog entered the room.
Well, last night there was an eruption from this volcano of pathetic worthlessness. He storms out of his chair going off screen, yelling and screaming at a child, saying that he's gonna break their neck, saying, "I hate you." And the child is crying and screaming, and he goes on Twitter to say it wasn't directed at his daughter, it was directed at his dog. He was threatening to break his dog's neck, which makes everything okay.
As if that was any better.
He's yelling at a child, but he himself is the biggest child in that house, just having a full-on whiny, pissed pants baby meltdown.
Oh no! Okay, dude. Oh.
All because he just fucking sucks ass at his video.
Ironically, the guy even had this in his bio.
Look, I'm no fortune teller, I don't have a crystal ball, but I think this clip right here just single-handedly killed your business. I don't know what the business was, probably something fucking terrible though, like he probably sells gaming diapers because he's always shitting himself out of anger in his video games, so probably thinks there's a market for it, not realizing that he's just one of the only ones that gets that mad at games.
And just like Killa MF Cam, who of course screamed on his dog, there was another father who was streaming on Twitch, playing Madden 21 with his child in his lap. When things went south, after performing poorly in the game, he got angry, smashed the controller, which made his child cry, and then he did this.
Shut the fuck up!
He couldn't really make the excuse that it was the dog he was screaming at, and who could criticize him better than Charles did?
He has a $300 controller apparently, but a 30-cent internet connection and webcam. The webcam looks like you're trying to watch censored hentai. It's so fucking pixelated. But hey, that's just his style, baby. Child abuse in 360p. Really sad shit.
Then came Prime Lightskin, who was streaming with a friend when they saw a couple standing and chatting, minding their own business. He decided to walk up to them and start insulting them.
The POV from Nampa Stream Prime. It shows the real you. You gotta appreciate your height, your balding, and your few palma art.
Naturally, Charles got wind of it, or maybe people requested he react to it, and that's when the fun began.
All it is this guy trying to turn himself into a human punching bag, but he's so fucking sensitive he can't even play that role well, he can't even be the heel. So the second someone challenges him, like here with the woman, like insulting him and then like slapping his phone, he snaps and brings out a gun.
And just to be clear, the streamer even pulled out a weapon on the couple, which was a bizarre move considering he was the one who started the confrontation.
What an incredibly stupid thing to bring a gun out for, especially considering he started this. I don't know how he would never expect someone to slap his phone when he's actually putting it directly in their face.
So of course, when others or maybe the cops get involved, he claimed, "She hit me first."
First, as if he had nothing to do with how this whole thing started. It's her fault. She's crazy. Someone help. Crazy lady. She hit my phone. So I'm going to kill her. And it's justified. I feel threatened. She hit my phone.
Throughout it all, he seemed convinced he was in the right, as if the couple was to blame, yet it was evident that if the woman did insult him, it was well deserved.
Craziness. To me, this seems like these streamers are using this content as a convenient excuse to try and get a rise out of people and then assault them. So they bring mace, they bring a gun, I bet they also have f***ing taser too, maybe brass knuckles, like what else did they bring here? F***ing golf club to go Last of Us 2 on someone?
Then there was the time when Charles encountered a Japanese streamer, name unknown, who was engaging in questionable behavior for views and donations.
And right now there's a super disturbing trend going on with some of the streamers on there, where they have an argument with their girlfriend, break up with their girlfriend on stream, all in order to bait viewers and donations.
While many streamers engage in attention-seeking tactics, this particular streamer went way beyond what others would do. Naturally, Charles had to make him reflect on his actions. First, let's see what the guy was up to.
No, please.
That's cheating. That's cheating.
I'm cheater.
That's cheating.
I'm sorry.
That's cheating.
And what can you expect from someone who rose to fame because he made inappropriate sounds into a microphone?
And yet, somehow this trivial accomplishment went to his bald little f***ing testicle head, and he got a huge ego where he thinks he's better than everyone else and that this girl deserves no respect from him, and she's nothing more than a vessel for donations and views for him.
The question is, if he's doing all this for views, why do people keep donating?
Picture you're at the restaurant and you're seeing these two having this dispute. She's crying, they're breaking up. What do? Do you start throwing $5, $10, $100 bills at them, as well as like shitty little socially inept jokes and quips, or offering advice on the back of your $5 bill? That makes no sense.
He keeps claiming he doesn't care about money, yet he gets incredibly excited when he receives a $100 donation.
This fat fucking greaseball with skid marks on his underwear literally comes in his pants when that donation comes through. Can't contain his excitement. His plan is coming together so well. It's just amazing to me how hungry Twitch viewers are for lame, shitty, awful, deplorable content.
To be honest, the reactions from the women he interacts with seem genuinely shocked. If he's hurting them emotionally just for some attention, that's a whole other level, and Charles couldn't agree more.
Because that girl is definitely not in on it. And if she is, she's a great actress and she needs some bigger roles in Hollywood because she sold the shit out of this performance. I cannot imagine how sociopathic you must be to, one, pull this, and two, donate for it.
Up next is Arab Andy.
He's a young man who was so desperate for internet attention, he wanted to suckle on the juicy titties of internet clout. He looks like he still has his baby teeth in his mouth, and he wanted to chomp those teeth right onto that tender nipple of internet fame and take a big swig of her milk.
That introduction might be enough, but here's a little more context. This roast took place when Arabandi took his live streams way too far, insulting women on the streets and in the worst possible words.
What do I have to look forward to? No, I want to speak honestly now. What do I have to look forward to? Seriously.
What you just heard was a sanitized version of what this guy did throughout his entire stream, and Charlie's reaction was legendary.
I know what you have to look forward to, Sanchez. 5 years in jail, potentially. I'm not gonna show the whole department.
Surprisingly, he wasn't arrested for insulting people, but something far more severe.
Or bomb threats. He's done multiple bomb threats on stream.
And Charles had just begun.
Watching one of his streams is sadder than watching an ASPCA commercial. When I first saw his channel a couple months ago, I thought it was like a 13-year-old boy going through a phase. And it turns out I was right, it is a 13-year-old boy going through a phase, but he's trapped in the body of a 19-year-old douchebag.
This guy would do and say anything in the name of pranks. Thankfully, he's behind bars now.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Detonation in two minutes.
And he laughed it off like it was a joke.
Fucking loser. Even when you're not making bomb threats though, I still imagine this is how most people act when they see you. They just fucking leave in disgust.
But if you thought his pranks were extreme, wait until we get to Sav X, who pretended to be deceased to escape the community.
Hot. This is the story of how a Twitch streamer and GTA RPer named Sav X faked his own death in order to distance himself from the GTA RP community.
He had 1,500 subscribers on his Twitch account, he was making money, everything seemed fine, but after getting banned on Twitch for using a cheat in GTA, he took it to heart and cut contact with everyone. When his friends tried to reach out, they received these messages.
Conclusion that this is not Sav writing this. Sav passed away Christmas afternoon. This message is being written and sent out now through my brother's email after obtaining access to his PC.
This was incredibly hurtful to his friends, fans, and loved ones.
You can imagine lying about something like this and causing this kind of emotional ripple effect would make you the most extreme piece of shit possible. Like a piece of shit that took a shit, then got puked on and hit by a garbage truck. That would be the piece of shit you'd be.
Eventually, people started piecing things together, and it became clear that he was, in fact, alive.
Not even counting donations, that puts you in the $3,000 to $6,000 range a month. And you fucking put it in your butthole to kegel it as a regret for the rest of your life because you got upset at the NoPixel community for banning you. And you had a little fucking temper tantrum and cried a little bit, and you wanted your revenge. Oh, I'm gonna fake my own death to make them all feel bad for banning me. Yeah, they'll miss me now.
So yes, Sav X ruined his career with his own hands over a tantrum he couldn't control. Most of the time, people tag or message Charles asking him to take someone down. But there was one case involving a Twitch streamer doing something questionable, and when he got caught, he tagged Charles himself expecting help. As if that would happen.
Nonsense or anything, like there is real evidence against this streamer.
With a ton of evidence against him, and of course being mentioned by the streamer himself, Charles reviewed everything. However, he concluded that the incident might have been faked by the streamer himself, who always sought to be the top post in the livestream fail subreddit.
So it almost seems like it could have even been manufactured to a certain degree, which would be the dumbest fucking way of going about that, to have you be labeled a pedophile by so many people in the Twitch community.
Whether it was real or not, it's hard to say for certain, but if it was truly unethical. Unlike some other situations, Fusi's story was more sad than shady. Still, Charlie's reaction was legendary.
In fact, I view it as an extremely sad, distressing situation. It's everything that's been happening with FusiTube.
Fusi, an OG YouTuber, took a break for mental health and came back stronger. Everything was good, everyone was happy, until things started slipping again.
He was in a much better headspace. But then his numbers kept going up. And as those numbers kept climbing, so too did his ego, until he reached his absolute boiling point and crossed the event horizon of maximal douchebaggery.
He started acting pretty weird.
He would insult people if they were poor. His main insult was about people's financial status and well-being. He became completely corrupted by clout. He was like Gollum, with the One Ring ruining his mind. That was FusiTube's precious attention.
But it really hit the fan when, during a live airport stream, Fusi spoke with a woman who shared her traumatic past, and his reaction didn't exactly show much empathy.
And how did FusiTube respond to that information? By apparently having sex with her in the airport bathroom. He came back on stream after like a 10-minute break, giddy.
That's when his community turned on him. Right now, it seems like Fusi is going through some tough times with public meltdowns, and maybe a break from the internet would be best.
Kick could have absolutely suspended the stream. They could have, and that would have been an invaluable help to him. But they don't, because he brings in so many viewers and so much attention, and that's what the world seems to run on these days.
So, just like Fusi, Alinity has had her share of controversies, from questionable on-stream behavior with her pets to wardrobe malfunctions. But what Charles called her out for was this.
However, in Alinity's case, she didn't receive a ban. There's no statement from Twitch. I doubt there will be, because throughout her entire career, for the most part, Twitch has stayed silent on a lot of controversial things she's done, such as the whole cat throwing incident and everything.
But during the whole stream on Alinity topic, Charles got to know that her account has been suspended at last.
I believe that her saying she needs to be suspended actually finally got Twitch to enforce their rules the way that they are written.
Even though she had to practically ask Twitch to ban her due to the backlash, at least she got banned, right? But where Alinity got banned for a mistake, there was Kimika, another streamer who did something wild on purpose and somehow got the lightest ban.
Had sex live on Twitch, while an entire marching band clapped and cheered her on in the chat. It was about 100 concurrent viewers at the time. I don't know if the coitus actually reached its climax. I couldn't tell you because she got banned before anyone finished, except for some of the people in the chat, I'm sure.
And if she was doing it for the clout, then a pretty successful stream that was.
But overall, a very successful stream, because normally she averages like 20 viewers, and this one, it was triple digits. So she got paid a visit by old Saint Nicholas, and it was broadcast live on Twitch, and she paid the iron price. She got banned. And you would expect that Twitch would crack down pretty hard on it, since this is their #1 golden rule that you can't bend and you cannot break.
But it wasn't as bad as most people thought it should be.
Twitch decided to not even give like a slap on the wrist. They gave just a playful little tap on the tuchus. They gave her a 7-day ban.
And she was already back streaming without people even noticing.
And now she's back to streaming, and her return stream has been her biggest stream ever, clocking in at 800 viewers at one point, blowing her previous numbers out of the water, and skyrocketing her follower count from 30 to right around 2K right now.
Charles saw it as Twitch encouraging people to do this kind of stuff, but nothing for sure because Twitch and its rules are quite mismanaged and confusing. And then came Miss Q Gemini with the epic controversy. She started off boasting that people only accused her of cheating because she was a woman. Minutes later, this happened.
Stop shooting me! You motherfucker!
If you didn't get what just happened, let Charles describe it to you.
So if your eyes were open, you may have noticed that she enabled some wall hacks, so she was able to see the enemies and their health through the walls, information you don't typically have access to in Counter-Strike. Even if you've never played the game before, you might find it a bit fishy that she can see the outline of them like she's goddamn Superman here with the X-ray vision.
She was cheating, denying it all, pretending as if she didn't know what the software was that she just used.
It blows my mind. Like, I don't understand why Miss Q Gemini here would cheat in Counter-Strike when she's bad at the game already. There's just nothing to be gained from it.
And then she had the audacity to do this.
Hold on. Clara, give me 1 second. Clara, let me just message this girl. Give me 1 second. Why the f is this on my computer right now?
Damn you, Clara! The boogeyman of Counter-Strike cheating strikes again, framing an innocent streamer for a crime she didn't commit.
The Clara meme still lives, and it probably will for quite some time. Iconic the whole thing was, but not as Elisa Jordana, who started attacking her boyfriend while live streaming because she got to know he cheated on her.
Hello? Hi, Sarah. How are you? How are you, Sarah? Hi. Thanks so much for calling. I'm just gonna send you like 6 months of texts of your nudes and, you know, different sentences that he...
Sarah, I'm sorry about this.
Don't talk. Don't talk.
The video is hours long and way more traumatizing than what you just saw, and it was a pretty weird situation to be streaming about.
It was quite a wallop. Like, if she was playing that boxing bag game that you see at bars where it measures your punch and it like grades your force up to 999, she probably would have scored like a 700 with that strike. So it definitely could have caused some damage.
It was literally a crime being live streamed.
Like, he told her I'm just like a streamer and it was just an investment, and like the whole time he was talking to me, he was talking to her the whole time.
And my exact thoughts were this.
Gadzooks, what in the f would possibly possess you to want to start a live stream after learning something so heavy? That makes no sense. How poisoned must your brain be to possibly come up with an idea like this?
Another name which Charles loves roasting the heck out of is BitBoy Crypto.
There's a particular clown I've made a couple videos on over the years because he can't help but embarrass himself.
And this time he just took things a step ahead.
He just broadcast an unhinged live stream here on YouTube that frightened more people than the original run of the Blair Witch Project. He was streaming himself outside of an individual's house that he was having beef with and accused him of stealing his Lamborghini.
Maybe his claim was right, but then this wasn't the right way to handle the whole situation like he did.
Not how you should have handled this situation at all. It should have gone to authorities, have it go through court. Instead, Ben, his name is Ben, rolls out here like he's fucking Batman. He's rolling out here like he's the spirit of vengeance, scooting in sideways with his truck and a weapon in his truck, just in case shit gets hairy. Like, that is not optimal at all. And then streaming the whole thing on YouTube, turning it into a fucking spectacle, is bafflingly unhinged.
And when cops arrived and asked him to put his phone down, it was like a very hard task for him. Like he just wanted to stream himself being busted or something.
Him putting that phone down was harder than getting a child to eat their vegetables. He did not want to put that phone down because for him, it seems like he's fully content-brained, and all of this is great for the stream, so he really didn't want to put that phone down.
He eventually got arrested, and then many people started saying that it was due to the rough time that he just had that he was behaving this way.
That perhaps this is his breaking point. This is him having a meltdown, a breakdown that he is streaming now. And I think that's probably accurate. This whole situation here doesn't exactly come from a thought process that's thinking rationally.
But then again, some streamers just have a bad reputation like this kid Kizzy does.
What the f?
Put your hand in my food again, and I'm throwing all of your.
And honestly, Charles is spot on with this one.
This young whippersnapper can't be older than 11 years old, and he's already becoming a scourge. He's trying to do what all of the other public nuisance streamers do by just being a societal hemorrhoid. He still has his baby teeth. He hasn't even gotten his adult teeth yet, and he's already doing this shit.
What Kizzy was doing wasn't cool at all. He seemed to be copying the antics of controversial figures like Jack Doherty and Neon.
You're probably thinking to yourself, Charles, are you really going to be insulting an 11-year-old here? And the answer is a resounding absolutely. This needs to be squashed. You gotta put the kibosh on this immediately to learn that this is not acceptable at all. So absolutely, I will be insulting this kid and the entire goof troop that travels with him for these streams.
Well, that's exactly what he did.
People are watching you because you are a clown, and they're sitting on the edge of their seat waiting for you to get your ass beat. That is your entire audience. You are a f***ing spittoon that they are spitting in. Why would you want that to be your whole brand?
His whole stream was basically just about insulting people and causing chaos for others. In fact, this is how he rose to fame and then got banned, thankfully. But then there was another stupid streamer on Twitch who goes by the name Hi It's Danny something and who was about to unalive herself live on stream. Charles explains it best.
It starts so innocent, simply cooking in your lingerie on stream, a pastime we can all relate to. I can't even remember the last time I went into my kitchen and tried to whip up some fucking spaghetti without my bare butt cheeks hanging out.
No one really knew what she was trying to do.
She's over there with a giant puff of smoke like a ninja vanishing with a smoke bomb. And it's only going to get worse. So she's talking about how she's never fried anything before, so she doesn't really know what she's doing. She's kind of winging it. And I recognize I'm no culinary expert myself. We can all agree on that. But I would say, why not just look up a quick tutorial on, like, the steps to take? You know, just glance at WikiHow.
When things started going wrong, they panicked like two total goofballs.
Tanner, hurry up! Tanner! Tanner! Turn off! I don't know what to do!
At first, no one knew what to do, but eventually Taylor stepped in and took action.
Working out, so he ran in there and slapped the pan down like he was casting a fireball, and it basically shotgun blasted all the grease and fire across the kitchen, and it burnt everything that it touched, but the fire didn't spread, so it didn't burn the whole building down, luckily.
Quite an unconventional way, but at least he saved the day. And then there was a streamer named Carl Reimer who ended up getting his career ended on Twitch when he did that big oopsie no one should do, especially live on stream. He brought out a real firearm on stream and pulled the trigger, accidentally of course, and as soon as it happened, he knew it was game over. But Charles had his own take on it.
Another thing I'd like to point out is I think this actually serves as a really interesting case study into the mind of a Twitch streamer slash YouTuber, because after this mistake, he immediately gets into YouTube thumbnail position with the classic shock-faced Ali A style, some of these. And then, bubble text over it, this happened? How? And then the circle with the arrow pointing at it, at the gun.
Honestly, who knows what was going through his mind?
That's really impressive, that speed, to go from just ruin my career to, well, let's profit off that. Right into the thumbnail. So, hats off to him for that quick turnaround time, but goddamn, it actually did cost him everything. I'm not exaggerating. He got banned on Twitch, as you'd expect, for, shooting a goddamn gun on it, and you can't even think about titties or ass on Twitch without getting banned, and this guy just fired a f***ing gun.
When Aiden Ross got banned, Charles saw it as the perfect time to comment, and he didn't hold back.
And last night, he got banned again. This is far from his first rodeo. He's actually a veteran in this field. He's gluttonous when it comes to Twitch bans. He's eaten those puppies like muffins out of the oven. This is his 8th ban, and by far his most severe.
At first, no one knew the exact reason, but Charles thought it could be about Aiden streaming the Super Bowl on Twitch.
He just streamed the entire Super Bowl watching it without permission from the NFL. It's not like he had some kind of back alley handshake deal with Fox or the NFL to rebroadcast it. I'm pretty sure Aiden Ross can't even spell the word license, so he didn't have the rights to restream that shit.
But then he was also involved in something other than that, and the other reason was also too severe to get easily banned.
While streaming, Aiden Ross decided to go to Pornhub, I guess to make a point about how you can do anything on the site. And he showed porn to his audience, and keep in mind, a lot of his audience is very young. They're minors, they're actual children.
And ironically, he just ended up making huge claims about the very thing he just did.
Very huge statements about how porn will ruin your life, and addiction to porn is gonna send you straight to hell, and it's gonna make everything in your life miserable. And he's not wrong, addiction in any form is life-ruining. Addiction is a super insidious one that absolutely does ruin lives, but he's taken this stance of porn is the devil, it's the ultimate evil. And then he turns around and watches porn on stream.
Another thing people were pointing out was because of Aiden being racist.
Clips from his previous streams started going viral on Twitter, and people were calling him racist for those clips.
But then there were multiple reasons, since Aiden just kept doing worse stuff on his streams and saying weird things. Taylor was a streamer who randomly got recommended to Charles when he was simply browsing Twitch, and when he opened her live stream, he was shocked to the core.
3 months ago, I clicked on her stream to see what the controversy was, what does she do that makes people so upset? And what I found is pretty shocking.
What he found was this.
Alright, so we're going... because they're not ready. Some people are ready, some people are not ready. Alright, so let's get this ball rocking and rolling. Alright, so let's go, guys.
And I cannot really explain it better than Charles himself would.
She is a hot tub streamer, however, she is a very different kind of hot tub streamer, like the next evolution, like the final form, raid boss of hot tub streaming. It's actually more like an abstract idea of a hot tub streamer. It's very avant-garde. So she'll stream for 4 or 5 hours, but she never actually shows herself. You only ever see her arm.
And that is the weirdest thing ever, and somehow she always has these people watching her, maybe just thinking of getting a sneak peek, which they do when she gets in the hot tub at the very end of a 5-hour stream for 5 to 10 minutes hardly.
I guess the idea is to prolong blue balls from the horny chatters that just want to jerk off to the hot tub streamer, and she'll milk them for 4 hours, up to 6 hours. I think her world record so far, her personal best, is 6 hours of stalling, and then I think she usually comes on at the very end for about 10 minutes or so before wrapping.
The whole thing had even Charles confused, since he himself couldn't really get what she was trying to do, spinning his own theories about what was going on.
So my conspiracy theory is that it was pre-recorded. I think she does do some streams that have to be pre-recorded because there's just no way. And the minimal interaction with chat, as well as some subs that she doesn't thank, makes me really feel like there is an element of pre-recorded video to this.
She just has everyone confused.
The mods will play into it, but then the mods will ask her a question to derail it. And then she'll spend like 15 minutes on that derailed question, like, oh, okay, enough talking about my birthday or whatever. Back to getting into this because it's time to start. We're already late. Time to start. So it feels like the mods as well as Taylor know what the play is.
Twitch streams are wild, and I think we've concluded that up until now. But what's weirder are TikTok streams. It's like stepping into a whole different world.
Now, TikTok live streams already have a reputation for being horrible. It's just an absolute wasteland. It's full of trash, more so than a landfill. I don't think there's ever even accidentally been a good TikTok live stream, except for the time a ton of people were illegally rebroadcasting the Super Bowl on there. Just going onto that platform to watch live streams is like going to an active war zone to tiptoe around landmines. But in this case, there's no safe spot to tiptoe. You always hit a landmine of fucking cringe.
So, the TikTok streamer Charles stumbled upon was Pinky Doll doing God knows what.
Ooh. Ice cream so good. Yeah, strong woman. Balloon. Yeah, strong woman.
And who can describe whatever the hell was happening better than the man himself?
This feels like someone canceling combos in a fighting game. She just keeps randomly emoting like if you're spamming taunts in Chivalry 2. Or in like Super Smash Bros. Melee. Show me your moves! Oh, show me your moves! Show me your moves! I don't know how long she streams for, but it's gotta be fucking exhausting. It is non-stop jingling keys with no breaks.
But actually, it looked more genius and somehow evil because apparently she knows how to get the attention of the cringe kids on TikTok.
Come up with a more effective money-making strategy than free armor trimming in RuneScape. She is constantly acting out tips. So, people tip her, and she acts out the associated emoji with it, which incentivizes more people to keep tipping, which keeps supplying the stream with the NPC content.
But then again, is it really smart? People are just doing whatever on TikTok. It feels like a place better left unexplored.
This isn't evidence of people's brains devolving thanks to TikTok. I don't know what is. This is the purest example of what's happening with your brain on TikTok, where now all you need is just noise and you're entertained.
But if you think this is all to this trend in TikTok streamers, then you're wrong because we got Dax Queen too.
Guys, thank you all for the likes. I appreciate it.
And Charles just couldn't really say much about what was happening there.
It's always the exact same shit for everyone doing it, and it's highly successful for them. And the audiences, for some reason, find it very entertaining and satisfying, which is concerning. It's the perfect illustration of just how bad for the human attention span TikTok is. Like, this is some fucking embarrassing shit for the future generations here.
But well enough with the TikTok stream, back to Twitch stuff, and not like it's any better, like this streamer who found out a 10-year-old video of his girlfriend, which he made in her high school, and his response was this.
Hey guys, it's Riley. Oh my god.
Riley never told me about this, bro. She never told me about this. This is news to me right now.
It's Riley.
I'm doing a little talk show. Damn, she hiding stuff from me? Bro, she never told me about this. I'm surprised.
He was overreacting like he found something very creepy or bad about her.
He learned some life-ruining information about his significant other here, where he found out that her secret identity is Jack the Ripper and she's some kind of serial killer. It's not like he even stumbled across something like she is a former adult film star that she hid from him. Like, he found her hidden OnlyFans, where she was casting forbidden jutsu with her butthole for $5 on OnlyFans or whatever.
And then this guy proceeded to call the girl to ask her about the video, which she herself must have completely forgotten about.
I totally forgot about that.
It's more weird that you would want to know that. It's totally understandable that you would forget filming a single YouTube video, or even a couple of YouTube videos 10 fucking years ago if it never took off. Like, what do you mean? This isn't some kind of like, oh my god, I'm dating a lying harpy. I'm dating a charlatan. Like, this is, like, the YouTube video is legitimately a nothing burger, and he's blowing this way out of proportion.
Yet he managed to make this so big a deal.
I'm surprised you never told me this. This is crazy. I gotta find this out from the chat.
This is really embarrassing. Thanks.
It's embarrassing for her, not me.
Any sane person would just be like, how is it embarrassing for you exactly?
Why would that be embarrassing for you? What kind of delusional fantasy land are you getting bullied in? What do you mean? Like, who's gonna start shooting spitballs at you and throwing tomatoes? Boo! This guy stinks! 10 years ago, his girlfriend filmed a YouTube video once. Like, I don't understand. Oh, God, look, jeepers creepers, guys. I can't eat. I can't sleep. My girlfriend made a YouTube video 10 years ago.
But it's not like it ended there. He called her right in his room to confront her on stream, and her answer was legit that she forgot.
How is that in any way construed as her lying to you? About what? Do you also need her high school report card so you can check each individual grade in every subject?
There was the time when the streamer Sub Caitlyn invited a Twitch mod on her stream and interacted with him. The only pathetic thing was that she embarrassed him more than anyone should.
Sorry, one more shot, guys. If you ever want to get drunk really fast, just have to kiss till you'll be f***ed up by the time the night's over.
And anyone could see how mean she was being to this guy who genuinely seemed very nice.
That is soul-crushingly mean-spirited. That is downright diabolical. Saying if you want to get drunk, just try and kiss Dilly, you'll be f***ed up by the end of the night. Saying that you have to be hammered to want to kiss this guy. And this is the attitude for the entire stream, so she makes it pretty clear that she can't really stand to be around him unless she is extraordinarily drunk, so the whole time she is drinking throughout the stream.
The whole thing was her idea, it was her stream, she invited him only to do this to him.
It's just evil. This whole stream is her basically just bullying this guy.
It was clearly her fault, and Charles and others are unable to understand why the chat was still donating.
She's putting him on blast as frequently as possible, sharing his most embarrassing moments, so giving his lowlights. Here's the worst of moments with Dilly. Here's what Dilly did that was so embarrassing last night. You guys need to hear this. It's just, again, so unnecessarily mean.
And then came the Atrioc situation where he accidentally showed his tabs during the stream, and unlike others who end up showing something embarrassing, he was a little different, as what he showed was some AI deepfake stuff, like the embarrassing stuff, but AI. So Charles had to say something on it as demanded.
Problem. That's weird, creepy, and pretty disgusting stuff. I think everyone can agree with that.
As much as the situation was serious, Charles took more of a different perspective than usual for this one.
And now what Atrioc has done is he's opened the can of worms and shown a lot more people just how far along AI deepfaking technology has come in the porn industry.
Charles was majorly focusing on the AI deepfake thing, but yeah, he did comment on Atrioc as well.
The whole situation almost worked out like a hashtag ad, like a sponsored stream segment, because the traffic to that site exploded as a result of this whole story.
Jägermeister took it to the internet one day, showing how exactly he was living with years of trash and maggots everywhere.
What is happening? Is he like a government operative by the US military to see how messy one man can be for 14 years?
For minutes straight, Charles kept watching him totally shocked, kind of amused, and mostly just wondering why someone would do that.
He has a fucking piss bottle. He has a jug of urine. Right? Like, that's gonna stink to high heaven no matter what you do. Like, the only thing I can think of is that he, like, routinely sprays Lysol in order to mask the smell, but it seems like he sleeps here. It's like maggots and lice. The lice are even confused in this filth. They can't find his hair.
Lastly, we have its Pinky, who probably looks like Charles's favorite because he was more interested in her weird and disgusting talent than actually trying to destroy her.
Today I learned that superheroes are real. If only Stan Lee were still alive to see this, he would be absolutely giddy with excitement.
In case you people are wondering what she did, well, she showed that she could fart on purpose.
You know, it's possible she actually just shit her pants. You know, there's no way to confirm 100% that it was a queef. It could have just been straight ripped asshole that she was playing off as a queef. I'm not trying to get the tinfoil condom on and go full Alex Jones conspiracy theory on you, but there is the potential that it was faked.
And then somehow Charles went from commenting on its Pinky to destroying XQC in a matter of seconds.
XQC will like aim his butthole at his mic so it's picked up in surround sound high definition quality, and she did the same thing by bringing her mic closer to the vaginal gamma burst that she was about to unleash on stream.
Alright, that's a wrap. Consider subscribing to the channel, please.